Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have just lost to Leicester 2-1 at Old Trafford. Manchester City are the Premier League champions. Leicester will now finish in the top 4. I'm not too disappointed with the loss. We went with a weakened squad. Solskjaer made 10 changes from the 3-1 win against Aston Villa. We saw Alanga make his Manchester United debut tonight, and Amad Diallo Traore made his Premier League debut. The goals came from Luke Thomas. He scored Leicester's first goal. It was his first goal in the Premier League. It was a very good volley at the far post. Youri Tielemans had got the assist. Then we equalised through Mason Greenwood. It was a precise finish. Amad Diallo Traore got the assist for Greenwood's goal. And Leicester's second goal came from Kagla Soyuncu. It came from a corner and it was a header from Soyuncu. Marco Brighton had got the assist. So there were the goals. It's Leicester's first win at Old Trafford since 1998. That's the second time Leicester have beaten us this season, because they beat us in the FA Cup quarter-final 3-1. I actually haven't watched the highlights yet, because as far as I'm aware, they've not uploaded on YouTube. Couldn't watch the game because I don't have BT. David De Gea, he was in goal tonight. Couldn't do anything about both of Leicester's goals. He did make a good save though to deny Iheanacho. Brandon Williams, he was playing at right back tonight. I don't think he enjoyed a good game. He's more effective on the left-hand side than he is on the right. I think it was Brandon Williams' first start in the Premier League this season. You know, Williams doesn't really play a lot now. He did play a lot of games all last season, but that's only because Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury. Eric Bailly, we obviously saw him play tonight. I thought he enjoyed a poor game. Struggled against Jamie Vardy. Thought Jamie Vardy had Bailly in his pocket. And Bailly looked very, very poor on the ball and didn't really get forward enough. Not so long ago, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Axel Tuanzebe, he was obviously playing alongside him. I thought he enjoyed a pretty poor game tonight. Looked very, very poor when he had possession. Axel Tuanzebe seldom plays, but obviously we played Axel Tuanzebe because Harry Maguire is injured at the moment. Harry Maguire has got an ankle injury. Solskjaer fears that Maguire is going to be out for a few weeks, but Ollie's hopeful that Maguire will be back for the Europa League final. Tellez, obviously, he was playing at left back tonight. Don't think he was too good, to be honest with you. Van der Beek, he started tonight. I think that was his third start in the Premier League this season. You know, most of Van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. Van der Beek was playing in a familiar position tonight. Nemanja Matic, saw him play as well. Juan Mata, he played tonight. He was in the number 10. I thought his link-up play at times was quite good. Mason Greenwood was obviously up top. I thought he did very well tonight. Like I mentioned, he got the goal. Mason Greenwood's done very, very well though in a lot of his games since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019 and he's been a United player since the age of 7, and earlier on this season he signed a new 4-year contract. Solskjaer was talking about Greenwood in his press conference prior to this game. Greenwood went a long time without scoring a goal. But whether Greenwood plays centrally or whether he plays on the right, we seem to get the best out of him most of the time. Amad Diallo Traore, like I said earlier on, got the assist for Greenwood's goal tonight. Didn't see much of the ball, but I think he did have some nice touches. And Elanga did quite well. But like I said, Solskjaer was expected to rotate the squad heavily, you know, which he did do. Obviously, Solskjaer's said recently he was furious with the fixture pile-up, you know, so many games in a short period of time. Obviously, we've got Liverpool on Thursday. We brought 3 substitutions on in the game tonight. We saw Marcus Rashford come on, we saw Edison Cavani come on, and we saw Bruno Fernandes come on. But yeah, we did rest a lot of players, you know. There was no Wan-Bissaka tonight. Obviously, there was no Maguire because he's injured. Lindelof, he was rested. Luke Shaw was rested. Fred or McTominay didn't play any part, so they were rested as well. You know, Dean Henderson wasn't in goal tonight. I actually thought Dean Henderson would have been in goal tonight, so in that aspect I am surprised. But I thought for the vast majority of the game, we was on the back foot. That's what it actually said anyway. But Leicester are a very, very good team. You know, they've got some very, very good players. You know, like I said, Jamie Vardy, very, very good player. He's at that highest level now because obviously he emulated to that highest level. You know, Jamie Vardy risen up from non-league football, and I had a feeling he was going to cause problems tonight, which he did do for Eric Bailly. Iheanacho, you know, he's also a very, very good player. He played tonight for Leicester. Like I said, had a very good chance in the game. Perez, you know, he played tonight. I think he's made a fantastic impact at Leicester. Yori Tillemans has been very, very good for them. Wilfred Ndidi, he's a good player for Leicester. He played tonight and I thought he enjoyed a very, very good game. Controlled that midfield. Marco Brighton's good as well. You know, he played tonight. Fofana, he's a very, very good centre-half for Leicester. You know, he played tonight. It said earlier on this season that Manchester United were interested in Fofana. It said we'd made contact with Leicester over a possible move, but it said Leicester were demanding £80 million. Leicester got Fofana from St Etienne. So Yun-Chu, he seems to be a good player as well. Like I said, scored the winning goal tonight. Timothy Castagne, he played tonight. I haven't really watched much of him at Leicester, so I haven't really had much of a perception on him. And I think Schmeichel is a very, very good goalkeeper. Leicester lost not so long ago against Newcastle 4-2. And Leicester have lost good players in recent years. You know, they lost Harry Maguire to us in the summer of 2019. They also lost Ben Chilwell to Chelsea last year. They lost N'Golo Kante and Danny Drinkwater to Chelsea. So Chelsea have done good business with Leicester in recent years. And they also lost Riyad Mahrez to Man City in the summer of 2018. But to Leicester's credit, they have found adequate replacements for them. And Brendan Rodgers, you know, he's a very, very good manager. You know, Leicester have been very consistent under him, you know. I like the way he's transformed Leicester. Brendan Rodgers has been Leicester manager now over 2 years. He's got a pretty good pedigree behind him. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. You know, Brendan Rodgers has managed quite a few clubs in his managerial career. Before he was at Leicester, he was at Celtic. He enjoyed a few years with them. Before then, he was at Liverpool. You can say Rodgers enjoyed one good season at Liverpool. Before he was at Swansea and he did well there. And before, he's managed Reading and Watford. And once he managed the Chelsea youth. Before Brendan Rodgers, Leicester had Claudio Ranieri and they won the title under Claudio Ranieri. Didn't they? Leicester were missing some players tonight, by the way. Obviously, there was no James Justin. He's out for the season. Harvey Barnes is obviously out with injury, and he's one of their key players. Johnny Evans has been out with injury, and Morgan is out with injury. I still think Manchester United are going to finish second in the Premier League this season. Going into the game against Liverpool, you know, Solskjaer is going to make a lot of changes from the game against Leicester. After Liverpool, it's Fulham next Tuesday, then it's Wolves, then it's the Europa League final, and then it's all over. On my next video, I will be giving you my player ratings from this game. But you know what? We seldom lose to Leicester, especially at Old Trafford. Yes, they have beaten us twice this season, like I mentioned earlier on. But you know, we did the double over them last season. We're beating them 1-0 at Old Trafford and we're beating them 2-0 at the King Power Stadium on the final day of last season. You know, we haven't been great at home though this season, have we? Let's be honest. Haven't all our defeats come at Old Trafford this season in the Premier League. You know, we've been far better away from home than we have been at home. You obviously know the news on the transfers. Earlier on today, I give you the latest news on Jadon Sancho. Manchester United want to complete a deal for Jadon Sancho before the European Championships. He says Man United are ready to offer £77 million for Jadon Sancho. It recently said that Jadon Sancho is no longer a priority for Manchester United because of Mason Greenwood. And it said we ended our interest in Sancho anyway because it said we wanted Jude Bellingham, not Jadon Sancho. It recently said that we was preparing a £80 million bid. It said a few weeks ago that Borussia Dortmund had lowered their asking price for Sancho to £78 million, and Borussia Dortmund confirmed that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho over a possible transfer. Sancho did recently admit that he's unsure where his future lies. Jadon Sancho's preference would be to leave Dortmund and go to a team playing in the Champions League, and Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that Jadon Sancho would be 100% happy to join Manchester United this summer, because Romano did mention that Sancho was keen on a move to Man United last summer. Few clubs have been interested in Sancho. Bayern Munich recently entered the race. Chelsea are interested in him. Liverpool were in for him, but I don't think they're in for him now. Earlier on this season, it said that we was preparing a £50 million bid for him, but last summer, Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target, and as you all know, Sancho to Man United last summer was extremely close. But the reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. He recently said we was looking at Kingsley Coman as an alternative to Sancho. You obviously know the news on Harry Kane from Tottenham. It's recently said that Harry Kane is open to a move to Barcelona. Harry Kane is ready to ask Tottenham to listen to transfer offers this summer. And the Glazers are planning to sanction a £90 million bid for Kane, but I'm very sceptical that £90 million will be enough. To convince Tottenham to offload him, because Daniel Levy, Tottenham's chairman, said not so long ago that Tottenham will only consider offers for Harry Kane starting at £125 million. Earlier on this season, Kane said he will ask to leave Tottenham if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, and it said he's decided that he wants to stay in the Premier League if he decides to leave Tottenham. Quite a few weeks ago, Kane came out and said that he wants to win team trophies. That was after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City. He said earlier on this season, though, that Kane had dealt Tottenham a major blow because he refused to commit his future to Tottenham. He's delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. And David Ornstein spoke about Kane earlier on this season. You know, Kane has been at Tottenham 17 years. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's won the Golden Boot a few times. He's got a contract with Tottenham until 2024. Obviously, before he was at Tottenham, he had loan spells, didn't he? You know, he had loan spells with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. But Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. You obviously know the news on Erling Haaland as well. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Tom Heaton from Aston Villa, because reports were coming out saying that Man United are close to signing Tom Heaton on a free transfer this summer as a backup to Dean Henderson and De Gea. Tom Heaton obviously used to be at Man United, didn't he? He was with us around 8 years, obviously was in up our youth academy. Tom Heaton's current contract expires next month with Villa. Villa paid £8 million for him from Burnley. He said not so long ago that we wanted to get Sam Johnstone from West Brom as a replacement for De Gea. Like I said, quite a few players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. I think there's a good chance that we're going to offload De Gea. I reckon De Gea has now had his years at Manchester United. You know, De Gea's endured 10 years at the club. And I reckon he's had around 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But a few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Solskjaer cannot reassure that De Gea will retain his place in the Europa League final, because recently De Gea's appearances have been coming in the Europa League and Dean Henderson's been getting a lot of appearances in the league. But earlier on this season, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. It said he's preparing to leave Manchester United, and Man United is set to pay off his huge contract. It said we'd set the price for De Gea, it's £50 million. De Gea has got 2 years left on his current contract and he's on 375 grand a week. It recently said Jose Mourinho wants De Gea at Roma. But I did say there's a good chance he will go back to Spain. Romero, I'm also expecting us to offload him because he's like our third or fourth choice goalkeeper now. Phil Jones, I think we need to get rid of him because he's always been inconsistent. Plus, he doesn't get in R11 and he has been out with injury for over a year. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. This has been Phil Jones' 10th season at Manchester United, so he's been a long servant. Diego Dalot, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Alex Telles, do you think he could go in the summer transfer window? Because he's played nowhere near as much as I expected, Alex Telles. And it said earlier on this season that Telles has decided to leave Man United. This has only been his first season at the club. Calcio Mercato said that Juventus were interested, and Juventus were willing to offer Adrian Rabiot for Alex Telles. We got Telles in a deal worth 15.4 million from Porto. Nemanja Matic, we could offload him in the summer transfer window because he's not one of our first choice midfielders. Juan Mata, I think we should offload him in the summer transfer window because he doesn't really play now. Plus, my element of concern about Juan Mata, he's lost that yard of pace and he's obviously 34, 35 now. But I think he's had a good career at Man United. Mata, he's been at the club over 6 years now. And a lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial because Martial's no longer good enough to represent Man United, and he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He's out with a knee injury at the moment. He's been out with this knee injury for a while now. Solskjaer's hopeful though that Martial will be available for the Europa League final. So the players that we do sell in the summer transfer window will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. But yeah, a lot of players are going to stay at Man United in the summer, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Now, obviously, the news regarding Edinson Cavani. Romano confirmed not so long ago that Edinson Cavani has signed his contract extension with Manchester United. That means he's staying at Man United for next season. I'm glad he's staying for next season because Cavani has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. He said the other week that Cavani has decided that he wants to stay at Man United this summer, and he said he was close to agreeing the 1-year contract extension. And Solskjaer did say he was doing all he could to convince Edinson Cavani to stay at the club. You already know the news regarding the Glazers. It actually said that Man United are planning a second protest against the Glazers. Will the Old Trafford protests force the Glazers out of the club? Now, Joe Glazer recently wrote a letter to Man United fans, and not so long ago, Avram Glazer refused to apologise over the European Super League because Sky News caught up with him in Florida and he refused to answer any questions. Solskjaer did recently say that the Glazers apologised to him. Solskjaer did say that the violent incidents went too far, but he said the club need to take notice of the fans, and Solskjaer was angry with Gary Neville not so long ago over the Man United protests. He says the Glazers could be forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Said before that the Glazers have got no intentions of selling Man United, and reflecting on that, they are here to stay. A few weeks ago, our fans protested against the Glazers at Carrington, and some of our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground. Joe Glazer released a statement earlier on this season apologising to club fans over the European Super League plans. Solskjaer did say though that the Glazer family will not sell Man United, and he actually told protesters before that Joe Glazer loves the club. But we get the Glazers out of Manchester United, it will be definitely the right decision, because the Glazers have put us in so much debt, so you can understand the fans' frustration. The Glazers bought Manchester United for $500 million in 2005, so they've been with us 16 years now, and in general I hate the way the football club has been run now for a long time. You obviously know the news regarding Ed Woodward. Woodward's going to be standing down at the end of the year. Who will Man United's next chairman be? It's actually said that Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace him. It got announced a few weeks ago that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. I presume all United fans were happy with this, because we've been very critical of Woodward for a long time. You know, Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer though, he does deserve at least one more season at Manchester United, because he has made very, very good progress. You know, he is our best manager since Ferguson. I hope he's a long-term manager for Manchester United, but I am very sceptical about it. I presume there's a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. But obviously a lot of United fans have been demanding Ole out, and obviously they've got their reasons behind it. You know, Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now over 2 years, and this has been his second full season at the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. Solskjaer has made it clear that he wants good backing, and you know what, I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football, we've got Darren Fletcher, and we've got Matt Judge, and he's been part of the club for a while. But yeah, in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Like I've said to you, I do have my concerns about Ole. But there's also a lot of positives regarding Ole. You know, we've enjoyed very, very good periods under him. You know, we've recently been enjoying a good period under him. You know, we lost tonight to Leicester, but that was the first defeat in the league for a while. You know, we've got a very good away record. You know, Solskjaer's got us to the Europa League final. You know, it's Solskjaer's first major final as Manchester United manager, and it's our 8th European final. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017. So we win the Europa League, that obviously gives us confidence, and it'll give us something to build on going on into next season. You know, he's got us to the FA Cup quarter-final this season, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final as well. You know, he did well last season, his first full season, though. Guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us a 3rd place finish, and got us qualification for the Champions League. Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in as well. And I also like the way he's promoted the youth. You know, Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Yeah, some United fans reckon he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in. So, there you go. Anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.